the movie been the foundation. It's time to move. 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 Yeah, it's time to move. 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 Hey, it's time to move. It's time to move.
Hello everyone, I'm D, and I'm from DJR Union, and today we're going to be going over the Store Tournament Volume 4 for this year, which takes place from October 1st to December 31st, and this is very great because we do get to get a good look into Yu Yu Hakusho, a little bit into the Kenshin set that's coming out, which I can't wait for, let's go, Kaiju number 8, as well as a random set that I didn't even know was coming out. I actually don't even think it was a misprint because I'm not seeing anything on my screen, to be honest. Right here, I don't see anything. I see 3 cards, but I just don't see this one over here. It's really weird. But as you can see, they get a little special stamp right here, and this is because it is now, starting October, the 1-year anniversary of Union Arena. And because it's the 1-year anniversary, they wanted to do a little something special, so they added these stamps on it, and I really do love it. So without further ado, we're going to jump into some of these cards that are going to be coming up soon to the store tournaments. So when it comes to Union Arena's tournaments, you obviously want to make it the top 4 to get a chance at one of these 4 prize cards right here. Now, obviously being first place means you get first pickings, and let's be honest, everyone's going to be going for this one, and if they're not, then they just don't know the value of the waifu tax, so to speak. That's the best way I could put it. But we're going to be working our way left to right here. So first up, we have Aoshi Shinomori from the set that I'm so excited for, Kenshin, Rurouni Kenshin, I can't wait. 0 energy, 1 action. When played, draw a card, place one from hand to sideline with an active trigger, a very good 0 energy card. You're going to want to put it in your deck, and it definitely has a trigger, and let's be honest, it's better to have a trigger than not have a trigger in most cases. We're going to get into that in a little bit. And yeah, so this is your first card that you have as an option. Your second card, Mina Ashiro. 0 energy, 1 action. When played, draw a card, then place one from your hand to sideline. As you can see, that effect is very universal among every set that we ever get. And if this is your first time looking into Union Arena, look, this is a staple. You're gonna want to run this in your deck out of 4 of easily. This one, however, does have a draw trigger instead of an active trigger, which is phenomenal. Love the draw trigger. The draw trigger makes this card 1,000 times better than the other card that we just saw, even though everything is retroactively the exact same. But yeah, so this is your second option. Your third option, Hiei. 1 energy, 1 action. During your turn, this character gains 1 KBP for every event card you have used this turn, which shines a light into what the red deck in Yu Yu Hakusho is going to be looking like. As you can see, with Hiei, he's going to be revolving around event cards, and because of that, that just gives me a little PTSD because of the Esper Sisters from One Punch Man. And if you don't know what we're talking about, check out R's video where he discusses the Esper Sisters in depth and why we truly don't really like the Esper Sisters as a deck so much. But who knows, maybe in the future we're going to start seeing some more decks that handle things properly with their type of deck gameplay. So far, Noelle and Mimosa have been kind of fine. Hiei, who knows what this is going to be like, but we've seen event card specified decks work very well, and we've also seen them steal the game, like with Esper Sisters. So with Hiei, we're at a toss-up right now. We don't really know what's coming with it, but we will be diving into some more cards for each of these sets in a little bit when we get to the participation cards and then some of the judge cards that are available. So moving over to the next card, we have Dorothy. 4 energy, 1 action. During your opponent's turn, 4 KBP by the way, pretty nice. And a color trigger, a purple color trigger, kind of nice. But let's see what she says. During your opponent's turn, if she's on the front line, when a card without a trigger ability is placed from your life into your sideline, draw a card. You can only activate this Dorothy ability 1 time each turn. That's insane. That ability right there is absolutely insane. And let me tell you why. So one of the main things in Union Arena is triggers. As you see at the bottom of every card is a trigger, except in the case of Hiei, as you can see, there is no trigger at the bottom of his card. This pretty much means that if it is taken from your life, no special effects will happen, you just take damage, and that's it. In purple, that's fine, because typically in purple, you're running cards or running decks that don't really have many triggers in it anyways, because a lot of purple decks do revolve around the sideline a lot. Therefore, just having the card in the sideline is that much of a benefit, not to mention the color trigger allowing you to pull cards from the sideline out onto the front line and be able to steal the game away, if it's done strategically and well enough. But to be able to change it so that your cards that do not have triggers allow you to draw a card, therefore saying they have a draw a card trigger, which is, as R and I have discussed in another video that I will link in the description below, is one of the best triggers in the game. This card is going to be insanely powerful. Not only is this card going to be sought after because of waifu tax, but it's also going to be sought after because this ability is really powerful when used properly. And since it can only be used one time each turn, that means even if you have multiple copies of her, it only triggers once, which is good. I think that's fair. That's a good way to balance out this card and how insanely powerful that ability is. But it doesn't get away with the fact that this ability is super powerful. And we were gonna skip this set, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I might have to. All the waifus are gonna make me go broke. I hate it here. So we just went over all the cards that were available as your prize cards. Now, just for participating, you do get the pack that allows you to get the participation set. However, the participation set in previous situations have given you a guaranteed amount of cards, and you are guaranteed the set number of cards that were available for participation prizes. However, this time around, you are going to be getting only 3 of these cards at random, meaning that it is going to be a little bit harder to get some of these participation cards. And we're going to start from the bottom left and go to the top, or bottom right and go to the top left, and there's a special reason we're doing this. So first things up, we got Rappi, which is 1 energy, 1 action. When played, you get to look at the top 2 cards of your deck, place any number of them on the top in any order, and then place any on the bottom in any order. Pretty much, you get to scry 2, which is really good. You're able to look through your deck, see what you want, see what you don't want, and put them at the top or bottom respectively, depending on how your game is going, which is really good. She can be used at pretty much any time you need her to, since she's only 1 energy. So you can use her early game, mid game, late game, and still get tons of value off of her. Koenma, my boy. 2 energy, 1 action. If this character is active, he gains an extra energy generation. Now, this card is a basic card that you will see in a lot of sets. No matter what, there will be a card that says, as long as this card is active, they have a 2nd energy generation, which allows them to generate even more energy. These cards are good. They typically don't have triggers, as you can see right here. I forgot to mention this one doesn't have a trigger either, but most cards that allow you to scry or search tend to not have triggers, but there are some exceptions. Whoops. So when it comes to this card is going to be pretty decent. It just pretty much depends on how much energy generation you will need when it comes to Yu Yu Hakusho, and how much energy generation is viable. How much you need and how much is viable is very important when building an energy focused deck. So we'll see when it comes to Yu Yu Hakusho. Next up, we got Reno Ichikawa. And Reno Ichikawa here is a 1 energy, 1 action. When played, draw a card, place one from your hand to sideline with a draw trigger. Now, typically you see this type of ability and trigger on a 0 energy, 1 action card, but they did give him an extra 500 BP compared to what you see on the 0 energies, because they're typically a 0-1 for a 1500 BP with the same effect and trigger. But this one, they buffed him up by 1 energy, so they had to give him an edge somewhere, and they did that in the BP area. So this can be used as a pretty good replacement for a 0 energy, draw 1, place one from hand to sideline. If you need another 0 instead, you can then have this be your 1 energy card that you can use to cycle through your deck quicker. So it is a nice card. I do like it. I don't think it's a terrible card. I think that this card is definitely going to see some play somewhere in yellow Kaiju number 8. Next up, we got my boy Sojiro Seta. What can I say? 3 energy, 1 action, active trigger, pretty nice. 2 energy generator, which who knows how well that's going to be going for in purple for Kenshin, who knows. But when played, you get to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 Makoto Shishio, Yumi Komagata, or 10 Swords affinity card among them, add it to your hand. Then you get to place the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck in any order, and if you add a card to your hand, place 1 card from your hand into the sideline. Now, once again, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of purple cards do revolve around the sideline, so maybe putting that 1 card from your hand into the sideline might benefit you, or maybe it'll hinder you. Who knows how this purple deck is going to play, because not all purple decks play around the sideline. But when you get to look at the top 3 cards of your deck to reveal a Makoto, a Yumi, or a 10 Sword affinity card, you're able to get a lot of the cards that you need quickly, especially when it's the top 3. You get to look 3 cards deep, add 1 of them. It's so good that you're probably going to be able to get what you need or something that you would really want every single time you use this card, which is really good. And since it is an active trigger and nothing like a color or a special, you don't need to sacrifice his usage and his ability to search for anything else. Next up, we got Killua Zoldyck, 0 energy, 1 action. Once again, a when played, draw a card, place one from hand to sideline, and a draw trigger. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just a, your standard card. It's a good staple. You love to see it. It will come in handy no matter what deck you're running. And then last but not least, the reason why I saved this card for last is because this is a card that we had been missing in Black Clover. In the set for Black Clover, we were missing one card. And if I were to go here real quick, search just the card name field and type in Asta right now. Search this up. Give it a second. As you can see, we got every single card that has only Asta in the card name alone, just the name of the card. We have all the versions of Asta in purple, green, red, and then all the extra versions of the cards, such as the ones you find in the starter set, the ones that have the special stamps on it, as well as all arts for stuff as well. However, when you come over to where the set is released, you have a 0 Asta, and then you get straight to the 5 Asta. Here you obviously see the Asta that comes in the starter set, which is the 1 energy Asta, but these are the only 2 Astas we have in the set. This one's just an alt version of this one. So we only have 2 versions of Asta, which, not bad, but for the amount of raid Astas we have, it's not great either. Because the way that we typically build our decks over at DJR Union is that we try to run 2 fodders for every raid that we have. We try to. There are exceptions to this rule, obviously, but for the most part, when it comes to the main raids of the deck, we want to run 2 fodders to every raid that we run. So why are we missing this card? As you see in Japan, they got it. They got the 3 energy Asta in the main set because they don't have just the alternate version. They have the regular anime screenshotted version of the card, which it's nice, but let me read to you what this card does. If this character has a face down card under it, it gains 1k BP, putting it at 4k BP. Now, a 3 energy, 1 action card that generates 2 energy and has an ability that says, oh, if I have a face down card underneath me, I get something. It's very beneficial considering what Red Black Clover stood for. Red Black Clover stood for Asta constantly having cards underneath him. If we go back and look at some of these raid cards, it says right here, at the start of your turn, place the top card from this rated character in your sideline, but if it has a face down card underneath it, you get to place a face down card under this character into the sideline instead, meaning that this character doesn't automatically kill itself off at the start of your turn if he's on the front line. Same thing with this Asta, different version of the effect, but still, when attacking once per turn, you can place a face down card underneath this character into the sideline to get an effect. Now, these abilities did trigger quite a lot, but not just because of, Asta having those special things with them, but they were triggered by the effects of other cards that benefited them as well. Yami Sukehiro here has, when attacking, choose one other character on your field with Black Bow's affinity and place the top card of your deck face down underneath it, which is good because, it can trigger on the Astas, it can trigger on the Liebs, this card only triggers on Astas as well as the Fenrils and the, Gotch. But Gotch as well, which is good because you're able to get a lot of good benefits off of this ability alone. But when it comes to Noct, when it comes to him, when attacking, you choose an Asta or a Lieb card from your field, and it then gets 1k BP till the end of turn, and then you place the top card face down underneath it, and it's a really good ability because you're able to fuel their engine of having face down cards underneath them in order to strengthen their raid cards. However, we never got this Asta to also get more buffs that we would want to target those abilities to. We only had legitimately the only one that you would want to put cards under that was Asta related were the raids. This is the first Asta that we're about to get that we would want to have non-rated with face down cards underneath, which I think is phenomenal. I'm so glad that we're getting this card, and I'm glad that we're getting it sooner rather than a lot later in like a volume 2, which we have no idea when we're going to be getting that, since we have no idea when season 2 of Black Clover is going to be officially dropping. So yeah, those are all the participation cards. Now, to wrap things up, we have all of the cards that come in the Judge Pack, which are pretty much cards that we are going to be seeing in the future sets that are coming out that are related to the prize cards and participation cards, but we get to see a little sneak peek into what these sets may bring when it comes to, believe it or not, the actual game plans for the cards. So let's start things off with Yellow. Yellow, we have Yellow Hisoka, or Yellow, we're not starting off with Yellow. We're not just starting off with Yellow, we're starting off with Yellow Hunter x Hunter. So with Hunter x Hunter Volume 2 coming around the corner, we have 3-1 Hisoka. If Gon Freaks and Killua Zoldyck are on their field, this character gains 1k BP, which puts him at 4k BP. Now, obviously, from this line of text alone, you can tell, we can guess, and pretty much assume, that Hisoka is going to be played with Gon and Killua in yellow. We're going to be running a triple pronged attack, a Razor attack team, so to speak, of Gon and Killua running with Hisoka, which is good. We're going to be able to see just what type of gameplay they're going to want to run with the three of them all joined up together. Who knows what we're going to see? We just have to wait and find out. Next up, we got Bisky, 1 energy, 1 action, and this is in blue, so think of specified slot. During your turn, if you have used, here we go, specified slot, affinity card from your hand this turn, this character gains 1k BP, putting her at 3k, and this character cannot be blocked by a character with 4k or more BP until the end of the turn. This is a really good ability because it really shows that specified slot is being still strategic in its own way, but we're also getting a chance to have a character come unblockable. And because of this one little thing, this could just change how you run a specified slot. It could change how you play specified slot. Maybe you don't want to run Strip of Beach now because you're going to be focusing on Bisky sneaking through with her attacks. Maybe you're going to want to run Strip of Beach so you have constant specified slots. Who knows how you're going to want to run this deck starting when this set drops, because right now from this card alone, I'm definitely seeing some extra alternative play to this deck. Alright, now stepping away from Hunter x Hunter, we are now going to Rurouni Kenshin. And oh man, Hajime Saito. When played, you get to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 Kenshin, Hajime Saito, or Sanosuke Sagara card among them, add it to your hand, place the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order, and if you add a card to your hand, place one from your hand to sideline. So once again, we are seeing a little glimpse into what we're going to be seeing in Kenshin, and notice how this one's focused on Kenshin, Saito, and Sagara, while the other one was focused on the 10 swords with Makoto and Yumi. That means that these are the 2 different versions of the decks that we're going to be seeing when it comes to purple in Kenshin, which is good. We now know the scope of what we're going to be seeing. We just don't know the actual general game plan of either set just yet. We just know what the sets are going to essentially be involving. We don't know how they're going to be carrying out themselves. Next up, we got Kenshin Himura. During your turn, your opponent's characters that lose to this character in battle move to their energy line instead of being sidelined, which makes sense. Kenshin is a character that has given up killing, and he does not want to kill, so instead of killing off the characters, he is then sending them to the energy line instead, which I think is a great way to show off his character. And when played, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 Kenshin among them, add it to your hand, place the rest on the bottom, and if you add a card to your hand, place one from your hand to the sideline. So this Kenshin being a card that searches more Kenshins is really interesting. It makes me think that Kenshin wants to be a standalone, except for the fact that we saw Kaoru and how she's supporting Kenshin a lot. So it makes you wonder why he's not able to search for himself and Kaoru. So I wonder if this is going to be something where I can't wait, actually. Oh man, I don't know how this Kenshin's gonna play too much. We did see the raid card, so we will be able to discuss a little bit more on how this deck could possibly be working. But for now, we're gonna leave it at that, and we're gonna move forward. Next up, we got Mina Ashino. When played, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 Mina or Bako card among them, add it to your hand, place the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck in any order, and if you add a card to your hand, place one from your hand into the sideline. Now, when it comes to Mina Ashino's ability, we know that she's going to be searching for herself and Bako, which is good. So it makes you wonder if they're going to be running like a tag team type of deck, which I think could work. I think it could work, especially when you have cards like Tanjiro or decks like Tanjiro and Nezuko that are in yellow that revolve around them working together. So having Mina be able to search for Bako, you know, her spirit animal, so to speak, it pretty much just shows that we could be seeing some really insane synergy with the 2 of them as we progress through this set. And I think that it could work really well depending on how they do it. Since this is going to be a 2-color set instead of a 3-color set, I wonder just how many different versions of decks there are going to be in a 2-color set versus a 3-color set. And we will be finding this out soon in October when this set drops. And I'm honestly really excited to see what they do with this. Next up, we got my boy Kafka. When played, draw a card, place one from your hand to sideline. This one has no trigger, but again, just like how we mentioned with Reno, he had 1 energy, 1 action, same ability, but he had a trigger at 2k BP. This one's at 2500 BP. So they had to give him an extra buff since they took away his trigger, and I think it's kind of funny that they took away his trigger, considering the whole thing about how he's, you know, a candidate that couldn't, you know, he couldn't become, because it's so funny. It's funny to me. I think it's kind of funny. I wonder if all his cards are going to be triggerless. If all his cards are triggerless, I think that's hilarious. And I think that's messed up, but I think it's hilarious. And like, it's hilariously messed up. Anyways, so yeah, Kafka. Next up, we got the younger Toguro. Alright, 2 energy, 1 action on your main phase. Once per turn, sideline 1 other character on your field. If you do, this character gains 1k BP until the end of turn. As you can see, younger Toguro is all about sacrificing his own teammates for his own benefit. What else is new when it comes to anime villains? Let's be honest. All of them are sacrificing other people so that they can be stronger. And here we are. Got younger Toguro doing just that. And he has a get trigger, which is really interesting. You never see a low energy card like this have a get trigger unless it's a 0 card that raids on top of something, or unless it's literally a powerful SR ability, an SR card that's not a raid. You never see a get trigger on a card that's a character that's as low as 2 energy. You never see it. So I wonder just what they have planned. Just what do they have planned for this guy? Oh man, he's gonna be crazy. I know for a fact he's gonna be. Yusuke. 2 energy, 1 action. When played, choose up to 1 character on your field and place the top card of your deck face down under it. So once again, similar to how the Asta deck plays in red in Black Clover, this Yusuke seems to have a little bit of a mechanic around placing cards face down underneath other characters. And I wonder if it's going to be just underneath Yusuke that it's going to benefit, or if it's going to be able to be put under other cards, such as, I don't know, Kurama, Koabara, maybe there'll be a Hiei in green, I don't know. But we do have to see just what, we do get a little glimpse into the fact that it is focused on face down cards underneath characters. And I'm really excited to see just how this active trigger 3k BP character is going to stack up in the rest of the deck. Next up, we have 3 energy, 1 action. Moving over to the Nikke set. Anis, I don't know, I don't play Nikke. Anis has step, pretty good at 3k BP and 2 energy generator. You're pretty much going to leave her in the back line for the 2 energy generation, depending on how you're building your deck. But the step can work if you need her to go up to the front line at any point in time to pressure the opponent, and then you wouldn't block with her, move her to the energy line back on your next turn. You pretty much just want to find out how you want to play Anis and how you're going to be playing yellow. This tells us nothing about how we're going to be playing yellow in Nikke, so we're going to move on past this. And look, it's another Dorothy, and you see the trigger, I see the trigger, so 3 energy, 1 action, generates 2 energy at 3k plus BP, triggerless, so that works for the 4 energy 1 Dorothy. Let's see if the 3 energy 1 Dorothy does anything crazy like that, considering there's 2 words with trigger and 2 different abilities. So during your turn, if you have 4 or more cards without trigger abilities on your field, she gains 1k BP. Wow. Instant 4k BP character, because I guarantee you're going to be running this deck without any triggers in it. Or if you are running triggers, it's going to be a very low amount of triggers. When attacking, if your opponent has 2 or more cards with trigger abilities on their field. Okay, so like raid cards, for example. Okay, any SR card, essentially. Okay, cool. Choose up to 1 character on your field, and it gains 500 BP till end of turn when she attacks. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And since this doesn't trigger once per turn, if you have... Since this isn't a hard once per turn ability, if you have 2 Dorothys and you have both of them attack, and, you know, obviously they still have the 2 or more cards with trigger abilities on their field, and it's on their field, not just their front line, their energy line counts as well, so they have to be... Jesus. You get to either buff up 1 character by 1k or 2 characters by 500, or, I mean, let's just be honest here, I feel like this deck is going to be really strong. I don't know how you could... How do you even counter something like this? This is a hard ability to counter. I mean, best case scenario, you pick Asta in red and have him like negate her abilities until the start of your next turn. But even still, that won't last for that long. That's just a 1 turn stop. How are you gonna stop her for the rest of the game outside of killing her? And I mean, you can, but do you really want to use your kill cards on this and not their more powerful SR or raid card? Heck, the prize card isn't even a SR card. It's a rare card, which means that Dorothy is just going to be a rare. Is there going to be an SR version of this card that does more? I was going to not get into the Nikke set, but I might now. I might. I hate it, but I might. But yeah, that's going to wrap up today's video. We're covering just the store tournament of Volume 4 for this year from October 1st to December 31st, as you can see on the screen right now. And yeah, thank you all for watching today's video. If you want to check out some of the videos that I mentioned in this video, in the links in the description below. And if you do, check out our last video that we also recorded, where we were talking about some fun stuff. You might want to check it out. It was kind of fun. I'm just saying, you should check it out. Do it. Do it, please. Thanks. But yeah, thank you all for watching today's video. I've been D with DJR Union, and I'll see you in the next one.